we discovered a massive need for women to find an identity surrounding being a woman and an entrepreneur. I'm Marley.
And I'm Rachel. Women like us, women who are the primary earners in our families,
are searching for identity, community, visibility, permission.
A place to be heard and supported.
We are leading with our vulnerability to allow others to feel safe.
We are strong
and feminine. We are bread-winning women.
Hello.
Breadwinners.
Are you here?
It's Wednesday.
It's go time.
Usually every day before we start this, I'm like, who's starting? You starting or me starting? And we didn't decide today. So I was just, that was a kind of a different intro today. It's Breadwinning Wednesday. Today we are here. Actually, Rachel was just in Canada with me 2 days ago. It's too bad we didn't go live. We were just celebrating my birthday and being so in the moment. We were hardly, at least I at the end of the day, looked at all my birthday messages, which was so fun and so special to have my best friend here for my birthday. I'm so glad you came.
It was so fun. I loved that we just walked around a mall doing Instagram stories, looking at clothes, making goals. I was telling someone, actually, I was on a call the other day and I was telling someone, not the other day, it had to have been yesterday because I was just and I was sharing how our best friend conversations, we lay in bed together and talk about our big goals and the hard things that we have to do to get there. That's what we do.
Yep. And the hard things was a big conversation that came up a lot. And even getting onto this call with Rachel, I was like, I've had a day and there's always going to be hard things. And like Cristy Code Red says, you pick your hard because it's all hard. And there are days that feel exciting and there's days that feel like you're dragging yourself through the mud. And the point of being a successful entrepreneur is doing the things that are hard that most people won't do. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you successful. And we talked a lot about what's the next hard thing that we're going to do.
And one of the toughest parts about it is having to honestly look at yourself and say, am I satisfied with my progress? Mm-hmm. And, a lot of people would look at some of the progress I think that you and I have had, Marley, and they'd say, wow, you should be so satisfied, so pleased with your progress. Mm-hmm. That's not how we look at it.
No. And I came to the conclusion that I am never going to feel like I've made it. Sometimes we have this big goal and think oh, when I finally have a 6-figure business, I'll feel like I've made it. Well, I have a beyond 6-figure business and it is not satisfying yet. Not that I'm not grateful. That's the other point, is to be grateful for what you have and be happy about what's going on. But when you get it's new level, new devil, you get to that new level and there's a whole other slew of challenges and obstacles, and you get to a 7-figure business and it doesn't get easier.
It never gets easier. And one of the things that I want to say I love it, but not every day I love it, is that every day we face that we aren't the people we want to be. And mm-hmm. as we become the person, maybe 5 years ago, the Rachel of 5 years ago would look at who I am today and say, I'm so pleased. Wow, that's mm-hmm. exactly what I imagined. But the Rachel of 5 years ago also didn't realize how big was possible, what was possible. And so looking at who I am today versus who I want to be 5 years from now, and seeing that gap, that difference between who I am today and who I want to be, or as Myron Golden calls it, the potential. Potential mm-hmm. is the gap between who you are and where you're at in terms compared to what you want to be, what your ultimate is. And that's not even the end goal.
I used to think that 6 figures was so crazy, so unattainable. Wow, if I could ever make 6 figures, I will have made it. I'll be successful. And I am. And I'm happy for that. But now it's 6 figures isn't my ceiling. It's a lot higher. And it's not even about money anymore. So that's another shift, is finding the other things that make me feel like I'm making it. That you're right. Marley 5 years ago would look at me now and be like, wow, she's made it. Everything must be perfect. You're just going to smooth sailing till I don't know, till you're done, like till death, I don't know. But now there's so much more.
Someone's twirling a cell phone and it's like blinding me as they're doing that. So it's hard. That's one of the things that's a word that's been coming up a lot this week for me. And I think for you too.
Yeah. We talked about it a lot.
A lot. It's not a bad hard though. It's a good hard. It's a reflecting hard. It's a commitment hard. It's facing yourself and facing the things in your life that aren't good enough yet. And I don't mean that in like a you're not good enough way. I mean it more like I'm not satisfied with this. I have to be honest about it. I have to verbalize it to my team and my friends and face it. That's not easy.
And that's not to say that like we look at things and go, nothing's ever good enough, because I completely acknowledge where I struggle with perfectionism. And sometimes procrastination is due to perfectionism. Sometimes there's the fear of failure and the fear of success. And a lot of things that hold us back. Perfectionism can be a big thing that holds us back. So I don't mean to say that it's like we look at things and think it's not good enough yet and everything sucks. It's just like, it's just knowing that I want to go further. I want to push myself. I want to grow. And it's just a mindset of always growing and never feeling like I'm done. If I ever feel like I'm done,
game over.
You got to shake me awake.
I'll throw some rocks at you through the screen to wake you up.
Yeah.
You know, like that's game over. So this is, I guess, like me saying it's hard. It is very hard. And I choose it. Like I commit to doing the hard things. And I know you're committing to it too, but like, this is my public declaration. I'm committing to doing the hard things.
Mm-hmm. And they can be like, we're talking, Rachel and I are doing the Code Red diet. And that means saying no to things. And it means drinking a gallon of water. Do you look at this? For anyone that's watching live, this is a gallon of water. It's bigger than my head. It's a lot of water. And at first I was like, okay, yeah, I'll just drink like lots. It'll be fine. That is hard. But you know what else is hard? Being dehydrated and having headaches and having toxins in my body that aren't being flushed out. That's hard. You know what else is hard? Saying no to cake on my birthday. That's hard. It's disappointing. But also what's hard is being overweight and being at a weight that I don't want to be at. And nobody come here and say like, Marley, you're not overweight. I'm just saying that I want to be at a healthier state, and that's what I'm choosing to do. And that's health. There's mindset, there's business, there's friendships, there's relationships, there's marriage. There are always hard things. So the question is, are you willing to do the hard things to get the results you want?
I commit to the hard things.
Me too.
All right, we're all in. If you're watching, we want to know, are you committing to the hard things, the things that no one else is willing to do, whether it's in your business, in your life, in your marriage, in your personal health, in your finances? If you're watching this and you're like, okay, you guys, I'm ready. I commit to the hard things. Comment below and let us know. If you're listening to the podcast, like write it down on a Post-it note. I commit to doing the hard things. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, through the hard things comes some of the greatest growth you'll ever experience in your entire life.
Yeah. Yep. So join us again next week, where I'm sure we'll be getting, I wanted to talk a little bit about this today, but I feel like I'm not even ready yet because I'm processing, but I did some really hard things this morning. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
We should talk about it next week.
Yeah, some really big shifts, and sometimes it means letting go of things that are really good right now because you know that it's going to pay off in the future, but it's like, it hurts and it's painful, but it's like, it's a sacrifice for a bigger reward. So we'll talk about that next week. Join us again, Breadwinning Women Wednesday. Subscribe to us on YouTube, on the podcast, and we will see you next Breadwinning Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.